Let's start today. Admission of partner in a partnership firm. First of all, let's start why partner is admitted in a firm. A partner is admitted in a firm only with the consent of all other remaining partners. Right? Only if all other partners are ready for his admission, new partner can get admitted. Now, why partner is admitted? First of all, when partner needs, when firm needs a capital. So for additional capital, partner may be admitted. Secondly, a partner may be admitted for a managerial skill, manpower, whatever may be. For example, suppose three partners are there, but they are running a hotel, right? They are running short of manpower who can take decision as if owner, right? They can appoint employee also, but employee will not work as hard as owner. So they need a owner. So they might appoint additional partner as a manager over there. Next reason for which this partners can be admitted in a firm is goodwill attached to that new partner. You might have heard that Sachin Tendulkar runs hotel, right, under the name Tendulkars. That is started by him in a partnership with one of his friends. Right? People come to that hotel because Tendulkar is partner and there is goodwill attached to that name Tendulkars. That's why a new partner may be admitted in a firm to take or to encash the goodwill of the name attached to that partner. So these are the basically reason for which partner is admitted in a firm. Now, when partner is admitted, following things takes place. First, he will be asked to contribute capital because the basic reason why partner is admitted is capital. So when he will come, he will bring capital. Now, second, revaluation of assets and liabilities. When in an existing firm, new partner is admitted, first of all, old partners will revalue those assets and liabilities, existing assets and liabilities. For example, when they started a firm, right, they were having office, right, which they purchased say for rupees 10 lakh. Now that building got redeveloped. Now the value of that new property is 1 crore. Now when this property was purchased, it was purchased by old partner, right? When this property is sold, it will be sold in crores. But this profit is earned by old partner only. New partner was not there when this value appreciation took place. So the profit because of increase in the value of office should be shared only and only by old partner. So before admitting a partner in a partnership firm, they will revalue the assets and liabilities and the profit or loss on the revaluation of these assets and liabilities will be shared only by old partner. New partner will not get share in profit or loss on revaluation of assets. Third thing that will happen is their profit sharing ratio among the partners will change. Say for example, earlier there were only two partners, new partner is admitted, third partner is admitted. So the profit which was earlier shared by two-person only, now will be shared by three people. So the PSR, profit sharing ratio of partners, new as well as old, will change. Next one is valuation of goodwill of the firm. See, what do you mean by goodwill? It's the money value of the reputation of the firm. That goodwill should be paid by new partner to old partner. The detail of that we will discuss later on. But when a new partner is admitted, new partner will pay goodwill to old partners. And the last one is adjustment of capital of old partner as per new PSR. Say for example, old partners were Mr. A and Mr. B. they were sharing profit and losses in the ratio of 2:2, right? And now a new partner, Mr. C, is admitted. The entire firm decided to share profit and losses equally. So when they have changed their PSR, their capital should be also in PSR. When their capital is not in PSR, they will change the capital as per PSR. That means if a partner has contributed more than his proportionate capital, excess capital will be paid back, or if partner has contributed less than proportionate capital, he will be asked to contribute more. So these five things will take place when a partner is admitted in a new firm. I repeat, first he will be asked to contribute capital. Before his admission, assets and liabilities will be revalued so that profit or loss on revaluation will get distributed among old partners only. They will decide a new PSR. How to calculate new PSR, we will discuss later. Valuation of goodwill, how the goodwill is calculated and how goodwill is taken by old partner from new partner, we will discuss later. And the next one is adjustment of capital as per new PSR. Next, when a partner is admitted in a firm, right, he will be asked to contribute capital, right? So when partner is contributing capital, there are two ways in which he can contribute capital. First way, he can contribute capital in cash. Second way, he can contribute capital in terms of any particular asset. First, let's discuss about contributed in cash. When money comes in as capital, I will pass entry like this. Money comes in, that's why cash bank account debit. It's a real account. Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. Who gave this money to me? My new partner gave this money to me. And new partner gave this money towards capital. So capital account. Capital account is a personal account. So personal accounts rule is debit the receiver, credit the giver. He gave me that money. That's why capital account credit. So the entry for capital contribution is cash account debit to new partner's capital account. I repeat, cash comes in, that's why real account के rule के हिसाब से debit what comes in, and partner's capital account, personal account, debit the receiver and credit the giver. He is giver to me. That's why his capital account is to be credited. The next method in which partner can contribute capital is in the form of asset. So when any other asset comes in, say for example land and building or stock or furniture, whatever he brings in, entry for that will be asset account debit to new partner's capital account. Same logic, instead of here cash, I am writing any other asset. Whatever comes in, same real account, debit what comes in, credit what goes out. Asset came in, that's why asset account debit. New partner is my giver, so capital account credit. So in short, we can say whatever comes in debit, who is giving this to me? My partner is giving this to me, so partner is a giver. So asset account debit to partner's capital account. Is this clear? This will be very first step in admission of partners in a partnership firm. This entry will give you 1 mark. Right? Even if entire problem goes wrong, right, and if you pass this entry, you'll still get 1 mark. Is this clear? Very simple entry, cash or asset, whatever comes in that asset account debit to new partner's capital account. Here we completed our first step of capital contribution. Now, after capital contribution, the very next step takes place is revaluation of assets and liabilities. Now, let's discuss this one by one. Why revaluation of assets or liabilities is necessary? Say, for example, before admission of partner, right, few years back or few days back, partnership firm had invested in a shares of say Yes Bank, right? When they purchased it, the value of the share was 400 rupees per share. But right now, the value of the share is 26 rupees only. Now, from the 400 rupees top, it went to 26 rupees bottom. Now, this loss is to be suffered, is to be bear by only and only old partner, because new partner was not there for taking this decision, so he should not bear that loss. So before admitting a partner, old partner as well as new partner will insist that you should get your assets and liabilities revalued. Now, when they revalue assets and liabilities, there are two possibilities, right? Either there can be profit or loss. So to record this profit or loss, we open a separate account which is called as revaluation account, or the other name for it is P&L adjustment account. These account records only and only profit or loss on revaluation of assets and liabilities. This revaluation account is pure nominal account, right? What is the rule of nominal account? Debit all expenses and losses, credit all income and gain. So all the losses will be debited to revaluation account and all the profits will be credited to revaluation account, or you can say P&L adjustment account, right? First effect of an adjustment regarding revaluation of assets and liability will go to respective assets and liabilities. That means asset will increase or decrease, liability will increase or decrease. First effect will be that in balance sheet, either add or less from asset or liabilities. Second effect will be given in revaluation account, right? If it's a loss, revaluation account debit side. If it's a profit, revaluation account credit side. Is this clear? The total profit or loss on revaluation of asset will be distributed among old partners only. I repeat, entire profit or loss on revaluation of assets and liabilities will be distributed among old partners only in their old PSL. Now let's discuss what are the possibilities of revaluation of assets and liabilities and what will be its journal entry. Let's take first case, increase in the value of asset. If my value of asset increases, say for example land and building, when I purchased it, it was small office, right? It cost me 10 lakh. In my balance sheet, land and building was appearing 10 lakh. Now that property got redeveloped, and on redevelopment I got better or more space. Now its value is 1 crore. That means assets value increase from 10 lakhs to 1 crore. So there is value appreciation of 90 lakhs rupees. There is a value appreciation of 90 lakhs rupees. Now how we will record this? This increase in the value of asset will be recorded something like this. Asset account debit to revaluation account credit. Now why asset account debit? Asset is real asset, a real account, right? Debit what comes in. My assets value increase. Asset came in, asset value increase. So asset account debit. I will sell land and building account debit to revaluation. It's a profit. Revaluation is a nominal account. Debit all expenses and losses, credit all income and gain. It's a profit. That's why 90 lakhs will be credited to revaluation account. So entry will be asset account debit to revaluation account 90 lakhs. When you will post this entry, first effect you will add 90 lakhs in balance sheet. You will take it outer column 1 crore. Second effect of this will be given in revaluation account credit side. Is this clear? Now, next. Second possibility, decrease in the value of asset. Say for example, my value of stock reduce, my value of investment reduce. What will be the entry? Exactly opposite entry. Entry will be revaluation account debit to asset. When the value of asset reduces, that means asset goes out. So asset real account debit what comes in, credit what goes out. That's why asset account credit. And its loss, revaluation account debit. It's a nominal account. Debit all expenses, losses, credit all income and gain. It's a loss. That's why revaluation account debit. Say for example, I had purchased an investment which is shown in balance sheet, say for rupees 1 lakh. Now its value reduced to say 40,000. 1 lakh ka value reduced to 40,000, that means reduced by 60,000. So while recording, we will say it's a loss of 60,000, right? 1 lakh ka value reduced to 40,000, that means reduced by 60,000. First effect, revaluation account debit side 60,000. Second effect, less from asset 60,000, outer column 40,000. Is this clear? The same thing can happen with liabilities also. My liability value can increase, my liability value can decrease. Let's first think of increase in the value of liability. Again, when my liability increases, it's my loss. So revaluation account debit, and liability is already having credit balance. To increase it, credit it further. So entry will be revaluation account debit to liabilities. And if reverse thing happens, right? If liability reduces, entry will also be reversed, right? Entry will be liability account debit to revaluation. My liabilities were having credit balance, to reduce it debit, and revaluation is my profit, income, right? That's why credit. Is this clear? So here we discussed two stages that takes place when you admit a partner. First, your capital contribution. Entry for capital contribution is cash bank account debit or asset, whatever comes in that account debit to capital. And when we revalue assets and liabilities, there are four possibilities. First possibility is increase in the value of asset. Entry will be asset account debit to revaluation. Second possibility, decrease in the valuation of asset. Revaluation account debit to asset. Reverse. Third possibility, increase in the value of liability. Liability is already having credit balance. To increase it, credit further. So liability credit, and it's a loss. That's why revaluation account debit. If things reverse, that means if the liability reduces, entry will be liability account debit to revaluation. This two stages will give you 3 to 4 marks. This three stages will give you 3 to 4 mark out of 10 mark question. That means by doing these two stages only, you score 30 to 40% of your marks. That means even if your entire problem goes wrong, you will still be able to get 3 to 4 marks. Is this clear? Now, new profit sharing ratio, which is third stage in your admission of partner. See, any partner who takes admission in a firm, he takes that admission with the expectation of sharing profit. So when you admit a partner, you promise him or her that you will be given this much of share, right? So this is how this new profit sharing ratio is calculated. Okay. When a new partner is admitted in a firm, it results in changing in new PSR. Normally, new partner is given certain share in future profit, and remaining profit is distributed among old partner in their old PSR. Generally, this is how ratio is calculated. First, you decide a given share of profit to new partner, right? From the total profit, you deduct new partner's share. Say for example, there were two partners, A and B, sharing profit and losses in the ratio of say 2:3, right? Now they admitted a new partner, and new partner is decided 1/6 share. So that 1/6 share will be decided for deducted from the total profit. This one means 1/1. This one means 1/1. From 1/1, 1/6 will be deducted. So we will get 5/6 as the remaining profit. That profit will be distributed among old partners in old ratio, right? This balance profit, the answer of this step, multiplied by old ratio, right? 2:3 or 3:2, whatever is the ratio. The same way we were distributing net profit among old partner, instead of net profit, here we have to distribute the remaining profit which is left over after giving new partner a share. Now this entire thing can be explained better with the help of example which will come next. But remember one thing, first you will be given in question that this is the new profit sharing, new partner share. You will have to deduct that new partner share from total profit, that is one by one. Whatever is the answer of this step will be distributed among old partner in their old ratio. You will get answer as new ratio. Now let's take an example. See, first Mr. A and B were partners sharing profit and losses in the ratio of 3:2. They admitted Mr. C for 1/6 share in future profit. Calculate new PSR. That means Mr. C is guaranteed a profit of 1/6, right? From total profit. Total profit means one by one. I will first deduct 1/6 and remaining profit will be distributed among Mr. A and Mr. B. Let's take an example of a pizza, right? When a new, there were only two partners, Mr. A and B, right? They were distributing a pizza among themselves in the ratio of 3:2. That means Mr. A was taking 3 pieces, Mr. B was taking 2 pieces. I repeat, Mr. A was taking 3 pieces and Mr. B was taking 2 pieces. That means they were totally doing 5 pieces, cutting that pizza into 5 pieces. Out of 5 he is taking 3, out of 5 he is taking 2. So how we write 3 upon 5 and 2 upon 5? A's ratio and B's ratio was 3 by 5 and 2 by 5. This was old ratio. Now they said Mr. C will also share that pizza, and now we, instead of making 5 pieces, we will make 6 pieces. So out of 6 pieces, only 1 piece is to be given to Mr. C. Out of 6 pieces, only 1 piece is to be given to Mr. C. So how many pieces remained? 5 pieces remained out of 6. 5 pieces remained out of 6, which will be distributed between A and B in the ratio of 3:2. This will be out of 6, 5 pieces are remaining. These 5 pieces will be distributed among Mr. A and B in the ratio of 3:2. Arithmetically, we'll write this like this. First, let's calculate balance profit. Balance profit, how to calculate? Out of total profit, 1 means 1 by 1. If I deduct Mr. C's share, I will get balance profit. From 1 by 1, if I deduct 1 by 6, right? So by doing cross multiplication, you will get 5 by 6. This is the remaining profit, which will be distributed among A and B in the ratio of 3:2. Now, how to calculate get new ratio? Balance profit will be distributed, means multiplied by old ratio. So how much A will get? 5/6 is the remaining profit multiplied by 3 by 5. So 5 gone, right? So 3 by 6. That means out of the 6 pieces, right, 3 pieces will be taken by Mr. A. And for Mr. B, 5/6, this is remaining profit, right, will be distributed in old ratio, which is 2 by 5. 5 went, so 2 by 6. 2 by 6 is the new ratio of Mr. B. So out of 6, 2 pieces will be shared by Mr. B. So 3 pieces will be taken by Mr. A, 2 pieces will be taken by Mr. B, and 1 piece will be taken by Mr. C. So the ratio will be, new PSR will be 3:2:1. Is this clear? I will wait here, reply me, then only I will go forward. Anybody, any doubt?
Yes.
Yes, ask.
No.
No doubt. Okay. So
No
shall
doubt,
we go
bro.
ahead?
Yes.
Yes. Now let's take another example. Mr. X and Y were partners sharing profit and losses in the ratio of 4:3. They admitted Mr. Z for 1/3 share in future profit. That means earlier Mr. X and Z were making total 7 pieces of pizza. Out of that 7 pieces, Mr. X was taking 4, Mr. Y was taking 3 pieces. But now they decided to make only 3 pieces. And out of these 3 pieces, 1 piece will be taken by Z. So remaining 2 pieces will be distributed between X and Y in the ratio of 4:3. So how to calculate? First calculate balance profit. टोटल 3 में से 1 पीस अगर Z ले रहा है तो बचा 2 पीस. So it will be calculated 1 minus 1/3, 1 minus 1/1 minus 1/3. So remaining 2/3. क्रॉस मल्टिप्लिकेशन, तिरकस गुणाकार. एवढं तुम्हाला गणित येतं, नसेल येत तर घरी जा. 3 multiplied by 1, 1 multiplied by 1. So 3 मधनं 1 गेला, 2 उरले, 2/3. That means out of 3 pieces, 2 pieces are remaining, which will be distributed between X and Y in the ratio of 4:3. Now, distribute this balance profit among old partner in old ratio. The formula is balance profit multiplied by 2/3. Balance profit 2/3 multiplied by old ratio. Now, X share will be something like this. X share will be 2/3 balance profit multiplied by old ratio. 4:3 means 7 में से 4. So 4/7. Cancellation ला scope नहीं है. Turn off your audio, everyone. There is no scope for calculation. So we will do multiplication. Numerator ने numerator multiplied होना, denominator ने denominator multiplied होना. So 2 4s are 8 and 7 3s are 21. So now here onward they will make 21 pieces of pizza, out of which, right, they will take 8 pieces. Yes, Swaraj. Switch on your video and ask question.
Sir, it's by mistake.
Okay. So no doubt, right? So multiplication answer is 8/21. Now in case of Y, balance profit, this 2/3 multiplied by 3/7. बरोबर. जे 2 पीस उरलेले ते हा 3/7 च्या रेशो मध्ये कॅल्क्युलेट करून येणार. परत there is no scope for cancellation, so do multiplication. Numerator multiplied by numerator, 2/3 6 and 3/7 21. So 21 में से he will take 6, 21 में से he will take 8. Now he was saying Mr. Z will get 1/3 share, मतलब 3 में से 1 पीस ये लेगा, और ये लोग बोल रहे हैं कि 21 में से 8 पीस लेंगे. So exactly how many pieces is to be made? 3 or 21? So what we'll do is we will first come to conclusion that let's make common pieces. So to convert 3 pieces into 21 pieces, we will have to multiply it by 7. If you multiply 3/7, it will become 21. Denominator will become 21. And when you are multiplying denominator by 27, if you multiply by numerator also by 7, you are not changing value, because 7/7, 7 gone, matlab 1. And if you are multiplying with 1, value doesn't changes. That means 1/3 and 7/21 is one and the same. Is this clear? So now numerator for all of these came same. So the new ratio will be 8:6:7. If you take the total of this, the total will come 21. See, 8 7 15 and 6 21. So that means new pizza will be distributed into 21 pieces. Out of these 21 pieces, 8 pieces will be taken by Mr. X, 6 pieces will be taken by Mr. Y, and 7 pieces will be taken by Mr. Z. If anybody has got any doubt, right, ask me. I'll wait here for a minute, right? If anybody has got any doubt,
सर झेड ओल्ड रेशो कसं काय आला?
ओल्ड रेशो प्रश्नामध्ये दिलेला असणार की हा रेशो आहे. बघ इथे प्रश्नामध्ये दिला होता ओल्ड रेशो 4:3 आहे. ओके, हे प्रश्नात तुम्हाला देणार की जुना रेशो किती होता आणि नवीन पार्टनरला ऍडमिट करताना त्याला काय प्रॉमिस केले हे तुम्हाला देणार.
नाही सर, मिस्टर
आवाज ब्रेक झाला, तुझा आवाज ब्रेक झाला.
ओल्ड रेशो 7.
परत बोल.
मिस्टर झेडचा हे जे आहे ना ओल्ड रेशिओ 7:7.
हा 1/3 दिला होता त्याला. ऐक प्रणाली ऐक ऐकतेस तू?
तो कसा काय आला?
मी काय केलं माहितीये, ह्याला 21 आणण्यासाठी तिनाला कितीने मल्टिप्लाय केल्यावर 21 येतील? 3×7 21 ना, म्हणून मी छेदाला पण 3ने मल्टिप्लाय केला, अंशाला पण 3ने मल्टिप्लाय केला. कोणत्याही संख्येला तू एकाने मल्टिप्लाय करते तेव्हा व्हॅल्यू चेंज होत नाही.